Hello, I'm Zahir Kelvinong Abdullah. On today's episode of Money Matters, we'll feature why Selangor is still the preferred state for investment and what the state government plans to do to attract more investors. So stay with us. Welcome to Money Matters. With me in the studio is Selangor State Executive Councillor for Industry and Trade, Datuk Teng Chang Kim. Welcome to the program, Datuk.
Thank you, Kelvin, for having me.
Our pleasure. Now, can I just start off by asking you the factors that make Selangor one of the most attractive destinations in the region for foreign investors seeking to connect to ASEAN and the global markets?
Yeah. Selangor, we are quite blessed. There are many factors that make Selangor so important for the investors. For example, firstly, our locations. Because of the strategic locations, it is along the major shipping routes, and also is a major city for the Road and Belt or Belt and Road Initiative. Mm-hmm. And then we have very good infrastructures for various industry. And at the same time, also, we have excellent logistic infrastructures, and that we have also very comprehensive logistic services, and also that we have a very good comprehensive economic ecosystem. And also Selangor, we have 160 institutions producing 60,000 of graduates every year. So this provides those skilled and knowledge workers in a big number. And we have a big workforce, 3.6 million people. And meanwhile, we have also Malaysia entered into 16 FTA, for which 14 has already in operations. Mm-hmm. And also in the world standing, for example, the World Bank Index, the World Economic Index, and IMF has put Malaysia on a very high ranking in terms of ease of doing business, in terms of competitiveness. So these are the factors that make Selangor really great, right, for the investors to enter into the ASEAN market.
Right. Now, looking at investors, can I ask you this question? Because with the number of cases, of course it's gone down now, of COVID cases rising in Selangor, did this affect investor confidence in terms of coming into the state?
It doesn't seem to be the case. For example, we have been able to maintain the FDI and the DDI for year 2020. We have 18.4 billion ringgit of approved projects, which is almost the same compared to the pre-COVID situations. Mm-hmm. And for this year, for the first half of 2021, we have managed to obtain 13.3 billion ringgit of investment. That shows that COVID has not really adversely affected the Selangor situation.
Right. Now, now that you've mentioned, of course, the fact that it has not affected the investors a lot, can we look at the Selangor's recovery plans and strategies to maintain and attract new investors into the state?
Selangor has been doing quite well in complementing the federal government's effort to combat COVID. We have our own scheme for the vaccinations called Selangor Vaccinations Program, Selvax, to complement the peak as implemented by the federal government. As such, the rate of vaccination has been very high. Mm-hmm. And by October, we believe that we can achieve 80% of the vaccinations. So this has been seen as very positive actions by the state government. And at the same time, we have other initiatives, for example, the POISE, the prevention of outbreak at ignition sites. That will help a lot of the preventions effort. So far, the participation from the private sector is very good. We have more than 1,200 companies participating. We have also many higher institutions participating, benefiting more than 113,000 workers and plus the 65,000 of students. So these are the efforts that has been seen to be really effective, and make Selangor safer compared to other places.
Right. Now, looking at the recovery plans, and of course, attracting investors to come in. So, which is easier, maintaining the investors to remain in Selangor or attracting investors?
It is equally easy and equally difficult. Yes.
Okay.
To attract them, we just have to show that, what are the features that we have, what are the incentives we can provide, and what are the services we can give to ensure that their projects can be approved and then implemented. But at the same time, for long term, we have to ensure that we have a proper system, the ecosystem, and that politically we are stable, and we have a strong market, and we have good connections to the world at large. So I would say that it is equally easy and equally difficult.
Right. Dr. Teng, can I also ask you this? Because obviously other states are trying to attract investors as well. So in your opinion, what makes Selangor stand out compared to the other states?
We are very aggressive, I would say, and we also always follow what is happening outside Malaysia. I think this is very important. Our frequent visit, our numbers of missions overseas, and our connections. Even during this period after 2020, or during 2020, during the COVID, during the MCO, we did not stop promoting Selangor. We still have meetings, webinars, very aggressively. And for now, in preparations for our annual event, we even started our business matching sessions online 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. So this is how aggressive the Selangor has been promoting ourselves to ensure that we are always within the radar of the investors.
Right, and how has the response been to that?
I would say very good. There I had webinars with chambers from India, and last week I have another session with the Turkish Chambers of Commerce and the officials. So we have been doing so with Taiwan Chambers of Commerce, with Taiwan city governments, and we have also from various parts of the world, we have these webinars and business matching sessions.
Right. Okay, just before we go for the commercial break, can I ask you the core industries that Selangor focuses on, and can you actually tell us also which are some of the high potential sectors for future growth?
Basically, we consider 5 clusters: the electronic and electricals, the machineries and equipment, transport equipment, and then F&B, and lastly, life sciences. And of all, we give special attentions to aerospace industry, and halal. These are the main thing, and of course the biotech that we are giving very special attention. We hope that these 3 subsectors will stimulate the whole process of Selangor promoting ourselves as the investment destinations. And we have seen some results after we give some special attentions to the 3 subsectors.
Right. Okay, Dr. Teng, we've just got to go for a very short commercial break. More high potential sectors for future growth in Selangor when we return in just a moment, so stay with us. Welcome back, and you're still with us on Money Matters as we speak with Dato' Teng Chang Kim, the Selangor State Executive Councillor for Industry and Trade. Dato', like you mentioned earlier, with the number of daily COVID-19 cases which are still high, now can we talk about the Selangor Aviation Show for 2021 and the Selangor International Business Summit 2021? How will this assist in attracting external investments to Selangor?
By having these two events, the SAS and SIBS, it has made Selangor as the platform for the businessmen locally to connect to the world. And it's important also, it serves as a platform for overseas or foreign investors to use Selangor as a platform to expand their business and investment in the ASEAN region. For example, now that we are organizing the SIBS, the Selangor International Business Summit, for the fifth term, for the 5th year, and it has seemed to be a very important business event in this region. We have not only the trade shows, we have also conference and seminar, which is talking about the current issues, current economic problems facing the investor in this region. And for our Selangor Aviation Show, this is the inaugural program. It will make Selangor a center for the aviations. So to make Selangor become an aviation hub, that kind of event is of extremely importance.
Right. Do you think that this is timely to have the aviation show? Because as you know, globally, the aviation industry has been taken a huge pounding.
Yes, it has been hit hard for the past 1.5 years. But this is time to pick up because slowly the international borders are opening up, and especially that in the business aviation and general aviations, this is the part that we are going to develop. And these sectors is actually the least hit during the pandemic.
Right.
And it has a very potential future for us to develop. And regionally, I think there is not many aviation show focusing on the BAGA or business aviation and general aviation, and we have the strength using our Subang Airport as a leverage. It has sufficient air traffic. It has comprehensive services in MRO and so on. That is the reason why I think we have made a correct move. In fact, we have planned it in 2019 to have the show in 2020, but we had to postpone it because of this pandemic. But we continue to plan it and to make sure that it happened in this year.
Right. So can you tell us a little bit more on what the SAS and SIBS will focus on?
For the SIBS, we started 7 years ago as a show for F&B. We call it Selangor International Expo. And later on, we expanded into a bigger event, Selangor International Business Summit, SIBS, which now has 6 important events. Firstly, we continue with the 7th Selangor International Expo on F&B. We have our Selangor ASEAN Business Conference. We have Selangor Smart City and Digital Economy Convention. And then we have R&D and innovation exhibitions. This is the second one. Then later on, we expanded to another 2 programs. One is the SPARK, the Selangor Industrial Park exhibition. This is under umbrella SIPS. And we have also expanded our Selangor International Expo from F&B to MEDIC. So by doing so, we are seen to be important events, important locations for the businessmen to meet. It serves as a very important platform for the businessmen and the investors.
Okay.
For SABS, we concentrate on as I said just now, business aviation and general aviation. Not only that, this is people don't understand what is the difference between the BAGA and the military show for the aviations and also for the commercial. When we're talking about air show, people think of the business airlines and so on. But this is a category, neither military or the conventional aviation. It is about the, for example, the private jets, business jet, and drone, and other services, even the flying schools, the MRO services, the supporting activities.
Right.
So this is something unique in this region especially.
Right. So how can the businesses and investors take advantage of the growing industry and sectors that you've just mentioned?
Yeah. As this is unique, as I said, this exhibition, you can't find others in this region, and this is the first in Malaysia. And this is an opportunity, actually, I would say that the first mover advantage is there. And for the SIBS, this is a locations, this is a platform where they are looking for new partners, they are looking for new connections, and for the local businessmen and investors, this is the point where they can connect to the world at large.
Right. So, looking at the two programs that is going to be done, so how will SES and SIBS basically impact Selangor's economy during especially these uncertain times?
This is important for Selangor and for Malaysia's economy to restart, to reignite the economy stimulus. The Selangor, we need to move forward. We are talking about post-pandemic situation. So we need an event to restart the whole movement. And we believe that for Malaysia businessmen, not only from Selangor, this is important, even for Malaysia economy, we need something to kickstart the whole thing that has been dormant for the past 1.5 years. And therefore, SIBS and SAS is an important, I would say that this is probably the first two most important business event in this country after 1.5 years of being dormant.
Right. Okay, Dato' Teng, we've just got to go for another short commercial break, and when we return, we will talk about opportunities in Malaysia's golden state, that is Selangor, so stay tuned. Welcome back to Money Matters. We're talking to the Selangor State Executive Councillor for Industry and Trade, Dato' Teng Chang Kim. Now, Dato', you mentioned just now that the program has been delayed because of the pandemic. So, did the state government basically have to change the strategies as it went along because of the pandemic in terms of what you need to look at?
Yes, certainly. In year 2000 or 2020, we were supposed to have a physical shows, our sixth SIBS. But because of the pandemic, because of MCO, we can't do anything. So what we have done was that we ship everything online. For our exhibition, we have created a special platform So exhibition will held online. Even the seminar was changed into webinar. And also for webinar to carry out more effectively, we have a program of almost 3 months of having this webinar over a stretch of 3 months. And besides that, we created a special platform online. We call it Selangor Business Hub, where we put all our exhibitions and all our activities online. For this year, we are going to have a hybrid program. Besides having the physical exhibitions and the seminar, we also have the webinars, okay? And we also have our all the exhibition online. And better still for the exhibitors, the online exhibition will be from November until October next year.
Right.
So it'll be 1 year event online. And for SABS, we need to postpone it because physical presence is very important. We can't have it online for aviation show. So very little we can do that. But for the SIBS and exhibitions, this is what we've done. And also, we have managed to do something even better. Our business matching sessions for our SIBS and exhibition, we have held it 6 months before the event. And therefore, certain deals has actually been closed. This is an achievement, you know, and I would say that this is a blessing in disguise.
Yes, good. So, looking forward a little bit, like for Invest Selangor, for example, how does Invest Selangor ensure that it attracts the right foreign direct investors, FDI, and also the digital direct investors, DDI? How does Invest Selangor ensure that it attracts the right group?
We have a plan. We started with our Selangor Industrial Master Plan. And after that, from the master plan, we developed into different action plan. For the aerospace, we have an aerospace action plan. For biotech, we have a biotech action plan. For halal industry, we have a halal industry action plan. So we ensure that we have the right focus and we speak to the right people. We go to the right country. And meanwhile, the frequent communication we have with investors helps a lot, so that we don't lose focus. I think this is what we have excelled compared to other entities in attracting the FDI and DDI.
Right. So for the FDI, for the foreign direct investors, what are their main concerns when you engage them in terms of, you know, what are they asking?
There are some important aspects they are looking at. Firstly, they are looking at incentive. What incentive that we can offer. Secondly, they are looking actually at the political stability. And this is a challenge, a real challenge. And thirdly, the skill force is very important. We need to have very skillful workers. And this is also a challenge to us.
So how do you answer them when it comes to all these queries from them? In terms of the skilled workforce, in terms of political stability?
In terms of political stability, I would say that what happened now is actually quite normal, even to the West. So there's nothing to worry about. And looking at, you know, although within a short span of 2 years, we have seen many changes, but the people are peaceful, the whole society is still moving on. So nothing much to worry. And I would say that Malaysia politics has come to a mature stage.
Right.
So not much worried, is there. And then on the skilled workers, we have working with various institutions. We have also tailor-made program for the investors to train workers that they need. And we are still progressing on this. I think these are the things that the state can do. But on the incentive, I would say the federal government for many years have been providing a wide range of incentives which are still competitive and attractive to the investors.
Okay, good. So looking at the groups of FDIs and DDIs that the Selangor wants to attract, are you looking at them for stable long-term returns, or are those looking to invest in specific digital sectors?
In fact, for both.
Okay.
Yeah. As I said, that we have our master plan so that we can work on it. And at the same time, we are also looking at the high net worth of activities, including the fintech, the IT solutions, cybersecurities. And these are the area that we need specializations, and we are working very hard to achieve that objective of getting this high net worth investment.
Right. So tell us more about the latest edition of SIBS, the Selangor Industrial Park Expo, or SPARK, which you mentioned just now. Why is the state pursuing this?
It is important, especially when we are trying to attract more manufacturers to come to Malaysia. They need good location, they need good industrial park with facilities and with all excellent infrastructures. So for many years, our industrial park have been developed by developers according to what they think the market needs. But we do have a request and demand from the investors, that to improve our facilities and infrastructure. And therefore, through SPARK, we can gather all the developers so that they can have direct contact with the investors. At the same time, also, we are going to launch a new system called the Managed Industrial Park, for which we set up certain standard for the developers to comply with, so that it will maintain a high standard industrial park. And with that, we provide incentive and facilities and other facilitating effort, so that this will become a reality where we can offer a modern and good infrastructure for all the industrial park.
Right. So looking at the industrial park again, just to add on what you're talking about, obviously there's a lot of work that needs to go into this. So I'm sure you have engaged those that you want to attract in terms of their feedback as to what is to be needed for the industrial park, right?
Yes. We have very frequent communications with our Chamber of Commerce. For example, the local one and even the international Chamber of Commerce in Malaysia. We have also ensured that there will be communications between the government agencies with our private sectors. So from there, we can gather a lot of information and to improve ourselves.
Right. Dato' Teng, thank you very much for appearing on Money Matters. It's been a pleasure having you with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
And that's all the time we have for this episode. Again, we thank Dato' Teng Chang Kim for joining us today. And to our viewers, thanks for watching. Do join us again next week, same day and time, for more money insights that matter. We will be talking about the 12th Malaysia Plan, which will be tabled in the Dewan Rakyat on Monday. Until then, I'm Zahil Kelvin Ong Abdullah. Take care and stay safe.